Good morning, 7:56 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, September 24th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Before we get into this morning's update, please hit that like button so that this update will be pushed around through the analytics. I would greatly appreciate it. If you don't hit it, you don't hit it. If you do, I respect it. XRP right now up 0.5%. Sitting at right around the 58.8 cent mark. We'll get through this in about 10 minutes because we got to get our son to school this morning. So I've got to leave here in about 20 minutes. So I want to make sure this update's put out. So XRP is sitting up about 0.58%. We're still sitting below a very critical resistance level, which is at 60.5 cents. That's the cup and handle resistance and also the falling channel resistance. As we know, it's been formed for quite some time. If we pull this out, just so if you're new, you can see what this looks like extended. We have that rising channel that we fell outside of. It caused about a 40% drop, 35-40%, back down to 37-38 cent area. Now we're dealing with that rising channel resistance that's above us at 63.9. Before we can even get that, we've got in front of us at 60.5 cents. That's the falling channel resistance as well as the cup and handle resistance. So that's a very critical level indeed. And we have to get past that to reverse this bearish bias, at least in this section. We are still over the 2018 resistance that used to be a firm support, or we're over that firm resistance, and now it's being used as a support. Now, the only news of note here is that we have created a short-term consolidation. Every time we try to push over it, we end up back inside of it. So it's either we can break out of this, push towards that 60.5 cents and ultimately push up to that 64 cent area, or we end up breaking bearish here. These bullish signals end up breaking through. We do have a small W reversal here in the hour though, so like I said yesterday, I'm optimistic, but with the forward looking that if this doesn't work out for us in this motion, that we could have a substantial drop here. And I'm not talking down to 30 or 40 cents. I'm talking down back to that 55 or 52 cent level, which would be rather significant, especially what everybody thinks is about to happen. If it were to roll, I still think if it rolls down like that, that's an inverse head and shoulders setup. And it could be 55 or 52 because going back to September 8th, as some pointed out in the live last night, which was great, that uptrend would get us to about 55, and that could be a stopgap measure from coming down to 52.6. So they're not just random lines on the chart, but you're going to have to do your due diligence to understand. And if you don't, I highly encourage you to keep watching and rewatch, and then you'll start to understand what some of this stuff is. You got to understand the current pattern formation, which we have recognized, and you have to understand where it can go if you don't break through this momentous area, and then you end up falling back down. So right now we need to get over that 59 cent area. Otherwise, we run the risk of today coming back down to 57, and then ultimately, if we were to lose that, come down to 55. If you break out of this short-term consolidation, it'll bring you short-term is up near 61 cents, ultimately up to 63.7. You can see even if you extend this out just a little bit with the USDT chart, which is another way. It just pulls us out just a little bit, and you can see 62.3 cents over the top, and 40.75 cents in this scenario is the floor. So that's if it were to come all the way down in this regard. But in order to even come close to having some kind of reversal like that, you would have to get rejected and lose that 2018 resistance that is now being a nice support structure, which is going to be difficult to lose this, because if you do, then all that's telling you is if you come back into the structure, you'll probably come down to 42 cents. So just pay attention to that. If we do start rounding here in the daily, we've got a long way that we could give back here. If it were to reverse that way, the daily today, however, it could turn into a reversal back to the top side. We don't know. So we'll remain visual and remain optimistic, but still be cautiously optimistic because that's the way it's presented to us. We've got Bitcoin at 63,506 roughly, up about 181 points or 0.29%. We had a great live yesterday for anybody who was discussing, or for anybody who was here, because we've shown, it looks like a megaphone pattern, in my opinion. Got this descending consolidation, but it kind of looks like a megaphone. If you don't know what that is, look it up in Google, and then you can let me know in the comments what you think. But 68,907, if it's coming up in that kind of a fashion, Now, if it doesn't, because in the weekly it looks great. In the weekly, we got this engulfing candle. We created a new weekly high. And if we can keep coming up, we do have an upward resistance up there at 68,907, which is very likely. Like in this kind of a setup here, like we talked yesterday, just because it's bearish, if it is bearish, doesn't mean it can't come up there first and then completely fall out if it doesn't break over the top. And then it could end up somewhere maybe at 46. Maybe you pull it up here and you say, oh, well, maybe it would be 47.3. But that's all speculation. That's only if it doesn't come through this very key resistance, which right now it does look like we're working on some momentum here. It's just, can we get all the way through? That's a question we won't be able to ask until we see whether or not we get a dump in the market, if this ends up reversing up. But we are behind some very critical resistance. But that's about a 5,000 point move for Bitcoin. And that would satisfy XRP, and it should allow XRP to hit that 62 to 64 cent range, which is what I would like to see. I would like to see us retest that rising channel. Even though we've already retested the falling channel and the cup and handle, I would really like to see us retest at 63.97 cents and see if finally we can get over that. If you look at this, we have lower highs coming down this. If you look at it in the 4 hourly, I'll take the arrow out and show everybody. So here's a high, lower high, lower high, lower high. So the fact that we keep putting in lower highs in this downtrending resistance of this falling channel and or cup and handle resistance keeps being the barrier. That's not necessarily good news, but if you can break over the top of it, that would give us a quick surge to 64. So that's what we need to watch out for this morning. So pay attention to that when it comes to the technicals. There's not much more we can talk about. We've been talking about this for days on end. We know the lower targets, we know the upper targets, and then we need to talk about this. Did the biggest XRP bullish signal turn out false? It's very hard to find any articles that aren't talking about XRP, and I'll show you, that aren't talking about XRP going parabolic, and it's annoying because there's a lot of stuff that needs to be discussed in between XRP going to 4 billion. But there's only one other thing that I wanted to look at, and I realized I didn't put it in here. It's a 30 million XRP withdrawal. So we'll read that after we read the biggest XRP bullish signal. Well, actually, no. I'm going to save the 30 million XRP. I think we'll see how fast we can get through this because I got to release this because I got to go in like 15 minutes. Biggest XRP bullish signal turns out false. Details. So the recent move of XRP seemed to be a major bullish breakout as it made its first meaningful upswing since February. After forming for several months, the price momentarily broke above the upper bound of a symmetrical triangle pattern. This is usually a reliable indicator of an upward trend. Though many traders began to doubt XRP's upside potential, this breakout was short-lived as it soon dropped back below the upper range because it indicates weak buyer follow-through. The swift retreat below the breakout level is worrisome. A move above a pattern such as the symmetrical triangle typically increases the price by adding to the momentum. In this instance, however, XRP's incapacity to maintain the trend raises concern regarding the asset's general strength in the current market climate. Presently, the pivotal points to monitor are approximately 57 cents, where XRP is currently seeking the support, and 60 cents, the prior breakout point. That is currently serving as resistance. More downside may be ahead for XRP if it is unstable to hold above the 57 cent support, which could result in a move back toward the lower end of the triangle at roughly 55 cents or lower. The lack of momentum on the larger cryptocurrency market is one of the primary causes of the unsuccessful breakout. A notable increase in volume is often required to verify the sustainability of a breakout, and XRP's move did not correspond to this. In the absence of a spike in buying pressure, the move was too weak to push higher. XRP appears to have limited upside potential in the near future. The market is not yet prepared for a big bullish move as seen by the swift reversal that followed the break above the resistance level of the triangle. It might be necessary for traders to hold off on anticipating a more prolonged XRP rally until they receive stronger signals to buy. So that's actually very, very interesting, this article. I'm glad I was able to read it. But with that being said, make sure to hit that like button. If you're looking to trade XRP across the world, video description below and or pinned comments, there's BITUNIX, lowest spot and leverage trading fees. You do not need a VPN or KYC unless you're sending or receiving from a bank account. You can leverage your spot, but I highly encourage most of you to spot. I don't think there's enough education for you to leverage trade, and it's like a casino, so you're probably going to lose all your money. If you want to trade on HOTCOIN, that's also in the video description below and or pinned comments. They have XRP Bitcoin pairing. They have XRP. They have a few other ecosystems not available on BITUNIX. Leverage trading is a little bit more difficult, but spot trading is just as transparent. So be sure to pay attention. And if you appreciate what I do, you can always send a YouTube super chat or join Tom's Army. Make sure to hit that like button. Stay true to yourselves and don't play the victim in my comments.